Hey everybody, Jeff here to talk about the game everyone should be talking about and playing this week, Halo Reach. Um, right off the bat, this is a Halo game through and through. So if you don't like Halo, it's not gonna change your opinion on it. If you do like Halo, you're probably gonna love it. And if you're coming off a long affair with Call of Duty, there's going to be some adjusting because they are pretty different. They are kind of the yin and yang of shooters, as game trailers put it. Um, but that being said, I think this is the best Halo game. And I'm saying that having only played bits of Halo 1 and 2 because I didn't own Xbox. But out of the 3 on 360, it is the best. And the campaign is a nice return to form after ODST, which is kind of slower and a little more boring. I appreciate that they tried to change up the formula with ODST, but I don't know, it just didn't work, and they went back to what worked here, and it's a lot of fun. Um, the multiplayer is better than ever. Really love what they did with it, and the game looks better than ever. I love the new armor abilities that you could bring into the multiplayer and are available in the campaign too. I really love the jetpack. I usually choose that, but the invisibility up perk or whatever is nice. The hologram one is cool. You can like send a hologram of you running forward, which is good for like say if you're coming out of a building or something. You could send this hologram running forward outwards. If you see it getting shot from a direction, you'll know, oh, that guy's over there. Um, but yeah, I really am enjoying the game. But at the same time, I don't think it's any something revolutionary or anything. It's just another Halo game, better than the others probably, and some cool new little additions, but still very much Halo. I'm not gonna go on too long about it, but just a couple. I agree with what most of the reviews out there said. Especially, I think IGN hit the mark as they usually do. Um, I think their score on it, considering everything that's in the game, like and every end, and I make a great point about how people play Halo for different reasons. Like, there's people that love making videos out of it. There's people that love the campaign and the story. And I think the way they really just beefed up all aspects of that in this one, I think they gave it the right score. I personally probably would have gave it like maybe a 9 instead of a 9.5, but we're splitting hairs here at this point. So yeah, it's just a very fun game. The campaign is a blast. The multiplayer is an absolute blast. But just a couple little nitpicks. The campaign, the gameplay in the campaign hasn't really evolved since Halo 1. It's still very much the same. And I'm not saying like the core gameplay has to change. Like I like the running and gunning and straight up action and vehicles, and I actually like the fact that you have to pump a clip or two into people and sometimes melee them and throw a couple of grenades. That's fun. That's its signature. But that said, it's like the first Halo was so revolutionary at the time and so cutting edge, and graphics wise, gameplay wise, presentation wise. That like opening level and the last couple levels in Halo One like really blew people away. But it's been the same thing since then. They haven't really. I guess they did alter the campaign in ODST a little bit, but they didn't do a good job on it. So they. But like, there's really no bosses in this. I mean, what's wrong with throwing a end level boss in here? There's only been a couple in the series as far as I can remember. There's none in this one. There's no puzzles. It's just very straightforward. It's like go to point A to point B and activate this console or press the button on this thing and that's it. End of the level. I will give them credit here that they've really kind of honed the level design. They've opened it up where like some of the levels, it's like it seems like you could go different ways. I only played through. I'm done with the campaign, but I only played through it once. But it really did seem like I could have gone that way through the level, or that way, or I could have approached this situation in a different way. So I give them credit for that. But it's just I don't know. I just at least give me a big boss or two at the end or something. I don't know. And I'll probably go into like my other complaint, but which is like I thought the finale. Everyone talks about how the last couple levels are so epic. I'm like, really? I don't want to spoil anything, but it wasn't. Nothing blew me away about the last level or the last couple levels. They were fun. It's just the ending. It was just kind of like, look at this and press a button. Okay. Um, I mean, other than that, there's not much to really say about this game that hasn't been said already. I'll talk about one issue before I'm done with this that I have, but the other real little nitpick I have with this, and I think IGN could have made a bigger deal about it because they mentioned it, but they're like, "Oh, it only really happened at the end when there was too much going on the screen." And it's like I saw it throughout. There's frame rate problems with this game. Um, Sometimes it really noticeably chugs. Even if you don't know what a frame rate is, you'll notice it, and it's kind of disappointing. Like, yeah, it does usually happen when there's a lot of stuff happening on screen, but I wouldn't say it only happens at the end. It kind of happens a lot, and it's kind of disappointing because even though the visuals on this, it's a very pretty looking game. I wouldn't say that they're really pushing the hardware in any way that it hasn't before. And it's like, why can't it keep a steady frame rate throughout all of this? I noticed it a lot. Let me know if you noticed the frame rate drops or real bad chugging on it. I was probably like, but yeah, that's probably my biggest issue. Well, when that's your biggest issue. The game obviously is pretty good. Although that's a kind of a big thing to have the frame rate problems like this on a game so big, on such a big release. And the other thing, this is probably more only applies to me, but I found the story hard to follow. Now I should say that I usually don't follow stories in video games. I find they're too long. They're usually poorly written. They don't hold my attention, and you get lost in them after a while. This it seems like they were kind of going trying to be a little straightforward about it, but I really think it's a problem on my end because first of all, the audio on my TV, I can't at night have the TV blasting real loud, so I have to keep it low. I couldn't hear what they were saying. Most of it's radio chatter, and it's hard to hear. It would have been nice if I could have turned on subtitles for the dialogue, but the way I see it in the menu is you can only do that if you're like listening in a different language than their native language on your Xbox. I don't know. They didn't have a simple subtitles on. It was just like I tried to turn it on and I didn't get subtitles. So, um, but like I was just like, I don't follow story in these games, but I've been making a conscious effort lately to follow the story more in games, so that for one I could get more out of them, and two, if I ever start reviewing games like professionally or whatever, I'm able to talk about the story because that's something that people really care about. I usually don't unless the story is a very big part of the game, like Heavy Rain or something like that, or it just grabs me like Beyond Good and Evil. Like I really love the story in that, but here I was just like, what the fuck is going on, man? It's like you're on this planet that is populated by people. It's called Reach, but like have we colonized this planet? Are these earth humans that have colonized this planet? Are the aliens colonized this planet too, because they have bases and shit on it? And if so, what the fuck happened? Like why are the aliens attacking people? Like is it explained? What, like, is there a reason? I mean, if it's just because they're assholes, I don't think that's enough. I'm sure it's not the reason. I'm sure there's some reason, but I don't know. I even as straightforward as it seemed, and it didn't seem to have like a lot of twists or anything. It's just really simple story about them losing the war to these aliens. I was still just like, what the fuck is going on, man? I mean, maybe people that have played the others and followed the story and all of them had an easier time following this one because I heard this is the easiest one to follow. And it seems straightforward enough, but if you're kind of new to this universe like me and you can't blast the TV at all times to hear what the fuck they're saying, I don't know. I, I found it wasn't very welcoming to newcomers, and this is supposed to be a prequel, so you should be able to figure out what the fuck is going on. And that said, even though it didn't seem like there was many twists, but if there wasn't, there could have been more. I mean, you know what's going to happen at the end. You know that they're going to lose this planet to the bad guys, but it's like you could there's room for a little bit more to happen within that. I think there could be traitors among the humans or something. Maybe there was, but I just couldn't follow what the fuck was going on. Um, it's just like a lot of these things with these games where you're trying to follow a story, but each mission is just like you gotta do some random thing to set this up and blah 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 blah. And it goes into too many tangents to keep track of. You get lost after a while. So I tried once again to pay attention, but I couldn't throughout. Um, but that's really it. That's what I got to say on Halo Reach, and this isn't really a review, even though I have played through the game and I have played quite a bit of multiplayer already. I just wanted to get my thoughts, impressions, whatever. I'm not going to give a score or anything to it. I'm going to be talking about it tomorrow night when we record the Perfectly Sane show for Vagary TV. But I figured this is my shot to get my opinion unfiltered without a bunch of other guys talking, and what I thought on it. It helps me organize what I was going to say about it. And on a little side note before I go, I've been trying to get more subscribers on this channel. I know what I'm doing on here is just nothing special. It's just webcam bullshit. But if you got any tips for that, let me know. And once I do get to 100 subscribers, which will take a while at the rate I'm going, I will do a Q&A where I open up myself to questions, and I will answer every single question as long as it's nothing personal or absurd or offensive or, or whatever like that. But I'll try to be pretty accommodating and answer everybody, no matter how many clips it takes to do. But other than that, I think it's time for me to get back and play some more Halo, and so should you. Thanks for watching.